Hi, I'm Tomaž from Slovenia. I come from box.io, and we are doing some stuff in the real-time communication space. So calls from the browser without any downloads or installation on the desktop, and similar stuff on mobile as well, and exploring a little bit around that. Yeah, a lot of I wouldn't say hurdles, but it was a nice journey to get to here. I'm sort of a product person, and I have an extensive view on several different fields, and that's I had to learn how to do design, how to do product, how to do marketing, how to understand the business behind it, how to understand technology behind it. And I think everyone who's working on product stuff should have a broad spectrum of skills and knowledge to create really awesome products. A designer for a car should know up to the last screw how that screw should behave. In that doesn't need to know how to make it, but it does need to understand what the technology behind it is, and so on. Same for architects. They should know their materials, they should know the whole story of building. And I think in software products, more or less, we are just now coming up to a stage where we are ready to build products in this kind of way. So far, it's been a domain of technology. Now it's less and less a domain of technology. It's more and more a domain of artists, of psychologists, of philosophers, and so on. I think that's the interesting part of the journey. I'm a very stubborn person, so it takes me a while to start listening to people. And I think that was in the last year, that's the major step forward that I made, was start listening to people and incorporate the feedback loop in a much shorter period of time than I was doing before. Okay, so the resources, I would say, it's being an open person and let others be open with you. It's super hard because you must create a deep connection with people. But once you have it, you can get so much out of them that you couldn't get if you didn't have that connection. So I think the biggest resource is actually being able to build up a team that sticks together in the hard times, that delivers, that ships, and so on. So I would say that's the main resource. Maybe inspire people as well. So every day, when I wake up, I'm a little bit afraid of what's going to happen next, and I think it's a burden for every entrepreneur. We all try to change the world a little bit, but it's all very fragile, and it can change. On the other hand, it's a moving system, and you don't know what's going to happen. So we are always on the verge of the abyss, and today the biggest challenge is what's going to happen tomorrow when we release a few new things in the product. Maybe tomorrow the biggest challenge is going to be what if something doesn't really work as we expected, and the day after tomorrow it's going to be already planning the next steps for the future product releases or for the future of the company. So every day there is a new abyss, and we are standing. So yeah, that's the point. So I would like to change the world a little. I think we can all contribute in changing the world piece by piece, and I would like to do my play in this whole thing. That inspires me every day when I wake up. I'm very, very inspired lately by a guy called Tesla. He was from the same region I am, and he was far ahead of his time, and because of that, the technology he developed weren't really well understood. And I think this is a burden for a lot of entrepreneurs. You are always a few years ahead of the main crowd, so you need to bridge that. And I think Tesla did a really good job at bridging that at some point. He did a worse job in other points, but I think overall he's a great figure to be inspired by.